Okay, you've learned how to add files and view files. You've also learned how to edit files in a document library. Now how about some quick tips on how to work with libraries more efficiently? The first tip we'll cover is a tip for editing files. We learned earlier that we could edit the file in the browser if we hovered and click this menu and then click Edit in Browser. And if there's functionality missing for us in the web app, we could always go to the File menu and then open it in the program, in this case PowerPoint. But there's a faster way to edit in a program. If you know you need to do some substantial editing, you don't have to edit in the browser first. Instead, just hover over the file, click the arrow, and then click, in this case, Edit in Microsoft PowerPoint. Then of course you click OK, PowerPoint opens, and the file opens ready for you to edit it. And there's another way to do this too. You can also select the checkbox for that particular file and then click Edit Document, and the same thing will happen. Now here's a tip for deleting files more efficiently. We showed you earlier how to delete a file using this menu here, and you just clicked Delete. Chose OK, and the file is deleted. But here's another way. You can select the checkbox for a file and then click the Delete button here. Or if you have multiple files to delete, select their checkboxes and then click the Delete button. Here's another handy tip for opening a file in a program. Let's say you have PowerPoint open and you know there's a file in a library that you'd like to open. Can you do that from here? Yes, you can. That is if you know the URL of the library, which I do. So I'm going to go to File, Open, and then I'll type the URL to the library down here. I'll click Open, and the program goes immediately to the document library, and then I can choose the file that I want to open and then click Open. And that's all there is to it. One last thing to mention here. You only need to enter the URL up to the Forms directory. So this portion of the URL is the only portion you need to enter in the Open dialog box. So that's just another way to open a file in a program. Here's a tip on how to save a file to a library. It's similar to the one that we just showed you. Here we are working on this sales strategies file here. And I'm wondering, if I want to add this to a library, do I need to close it and upload it to the library? No, I don't have to do that. Instead, I can save the file directly to the library. And this is how I do that. I go to File, Save, and then I type the URL to the library, click Save, and the library loads inside this Save As dialog box, and then I simply click Save. Now this file has been added to the library. It's been saved directly to the library. Here's a really handy tip. Connect to Office. What's Connect to Office? Well, if I know I'm going to be saving and opening files from this library quite a bit, I can connect it to Office. I do that on the Library tab, Connect to Office, and then Add to SharePoint Sites. And now when I'm using an Office program, let's say for example it's Excel, and I'll switch over to Excel here. Now that SharePoint document library has been added in a very convenient place in the Open and Save dialog boxes. So I'll go there. I'll go to File, Open, and over here is SharePoint Sites. If I click that, there, now I have a shortcut to the document library. If I click that, there, I go immediately to the library, and now I can open any of these files very conveniently. Same thing goes for the Save dialog box. If I saved this file, I could go up here to this very convenient link here, SharePoint Sites, and there's a shortcut for that library because I've connected it to Office, and I double-click that, and now I can easily save right to the document library. So that's Connect to Office. Here's another tip that I think is really helpful, a tip for finding the document's location. Let's say I'm editing this sales strategies document here, and I'm thinking, I'd like to share this with somebody else. Or I can't quite remember where this file is. Is it on my hard drive or is it in a library somewhere? And if so, which library? How do I find out where this document location is? The way you do that is you go to File, and then on the Info panel, it's right here. Here's the URL for this file. And if I wanted to share this out, I could right-click and copy and paste it into an instant message or an email. You get the idea. The other handy thing is this document location link down here. If I click that, the browser will open right to the library. And that's handy because I go right to the library which this file is stored in, and I can see other documents that are alongside this one. So that's a tip on finding the document location.